Alright, welcome to Let's Play Ardy Lightfoot. I'm Hal Emmerich, or Elliot Carver, depending on where you know me. And today we're going to play for the first couple stages, one of which really isn't much of a stage, more like a very shoddy tutorial. Now, kind of an interesting thing, this game was made by the same people who made Superman 64, so this is going to be really interesting. And it's an interesting game. Your basic moves are you can push things, you have a pogo stick tail that kills enemies, kind of like DuckTales. You can throw this blue thing around. Yeah. You can hold up and make a shield that basically makes you invincible, although it doesn't always work. We'll get into more of that later. And you can duck, which is useless for 99% of the game. It's actually a pretty easy game, except for the last areas, which are insanely hard, last 3 stages. And yeah, this opening area, it's pretty much impossible to die. And a little gap to hop over there. That's not actually a bottomless pit, so there's no real point. And you're forced to fall down here, and you can actually get back up, so yeah. Entirely pointless. Okay. Well, let's get this train wreck rolling and get the first item. And the villain shows up. Now, interesting thing, one of them is obviously a mole, but what in the hell is the thing behind the curtain? I mean, come on, it's got spines, it looks like it's a little lobster claw kind of thing. What a freak. And, okay, world map. This has no point other than to show which stage you're on, and time for the obligatory opening plot scene where the old man reads the tablet. Kind of an interesting plot. Not really, but a little bit of depth in the game. Long story short, you go from the left to the right and try not to die. And with that out of the way, we are introduced to the first stage of the game. Like so many Super Nintendo platformers, it's a burning town. How original. And as we'll see, this town is actually being set fire by an entire army of 4 blue things in a plane, so let's see how that turns out. Okay, here we go. So, like I said, your primary attack is you're throwing your blue thing, which lets you eat enemies, who are mostly green little circle things. Yeah, they throw bombs, they sit there waiting to be eaten, they attack, some of them have propeller heads and home in on you, they're really annoying. And how the hell were you supposed to see him? That was a fluke. And like I said, they throw bombs. You can pogo stick on them too. If you get hit once, you lose your blue thing. You get hit twice, you die. This guy attacks you in a plane. You saw him before. And you can actually hop up there and eat him, but that son of a bitch just hit me, so let's do it the old-fashioned way. It's actually kind of a funny way to do them, and I'll show you that. You crashed into the tower. Yeah, take that, you bastard. That's what I should have been doing, but like I said, it actually has a problem, and that's that it takes way too long to actually make you invincible. See? That did me a lot of good after the fight was over. I got my invincibility up. Great. And into the hole we go. And there's your useless sidekicks, and welcome to the mine. This particular piece of suck is mostly evil because of spike traps, which the game doesn't use that much. And you meet your first homing enemy, which, because of the way they home in, and because of the way that your blue thing kind of arcs up and around, they're extremely difficult to hit. And the buckets. The buckets here are difficult because optimally you want to pogo jump out of them, because if they go up too high you can't jump out properly. But the second you go to pogo jump, you have to hop up and press it, which means the bucket drops down and you nearly fall out. And up it goes. Come on, come on. There. And pointless little wheel trap here, and we meet the first annoying enemy of the game. The homing enemy shows up in the worst possible spots and will get you killed. In fact, it's the only enemy that's actually challenging, and I guarantee you will get hit by them half the time you see them. and a checkpoint, and down the hole we go. Now, if you lose your blue thing, you don't have to worry because every 3 screens, you get another one through a treasure chest. And you gotta wonder who keeps sticking these blue creatures into treasure chests, because someone might want to call the SPCA about that. Kind of a cruelty to animals thing going on. And he's gone again. Wonderful. Not to worry, because he'll be in the next treasure chest you run across, or the next stage. It's kind of like the developers want to say, yeah, you're too stupid to finish the game normally, so we'll give you an extra hit every screen or so. And I just fell through the platform. That was wonderful programming on the programmer's part. Okay. Now, whenever you already have the blue thing, and you go to a treasure chest that would have had it, you get a star instead, which is ultimately less useful. And that's about the core of the gameplay. I mean, most treasures are son of a bitch. See what I mean? Most of the treasures are stars, extra men, and your dumb little blue thing. And another homing thing that just about got me. And we'll just put it down to this little scene here. The stages aren't particularly hard. In fact, some of them actually get shorter as the game goes along. Scene 3 is pretty short. But despite their shortness, some of them get extremely hard towards the end of the game. The last 3 scenes are insane. And for another SNES stereotype, the minecart scene. Now, first off, you're probably wondering why I'm not trying to jump into the stars, and the reason is because you actually have a better chance of living if you do nothing. Jumping to get the stars, you probably won't land back in the minecart. You'll actually fall through it or land around it, so it's just easier to just sit there. Even the enemies don't hit you, so it's just a matter of waiting for it to be over. Kind of a neat scene, though. Good music. And we see the obstacle, and we see them, we see the obstacle, we see them, we see the obstacle again, and ha-ha! Whee! And there's the stage boss. Now what's with these minecarts anyway? Anytime they're going down, the wheel shifts to the back of the cart, and there comes the boss. Now the bosses in this game are interesting in that they can actually hit you when they're coming in. So if he had hit me there, I would have actually lost one of my 2 hit points and my useless little blue thing. He's too wussy to eat any of the bosses, so you got a pogo stick on their head instead. 1 or 2 you can't do that to. This boss is fairly straightforward. He drops 4 blocks down, you stand in the spot there isn't a block, and then he tosses his boomerang spiked helmet out, you pogo on him, and then you jump over it again. About 5 hits and he's done for. And he gets mad around the 4th hit, which really changes nothing. I'm not even sure if he gets faster, it's just... looks a little bit cooler, though. Kind of wonder how he got there so fast. And at the end of the game, you'll find out that one scene with the villain was in the entire other side of the world map. So in the time of the period to walk from that hole to the little house, he's gotten across the world. And Indiana Jones the Rat shows up and hops down the hole behind you. He gets important later, actually. And with that done, we head to the forest, and that's it for this video. Have a good night, and I hope to see you the next time. Have a good time.